Hello, my name is Joseph Fiennes, and I'm talking to you from Sundance Festival in Utah, Salt Lake City. Welcome to Unscripted. Today I'm here with the most formidable actor, Wilmer Valderrama. Did you like the roll of the tongue?
You know what? I was actually going to comment on that. I've never seen anyone from England roll their R's like that. Very romantic.
So to put everyone in the picture, we're here to interview each other, and I would like to begin really with questions that other people have posed for us, and then we'll finish up with some questions we'll fire at each other of our own. So, Wilmer, tell me, how did you first get involved with the Darwin Awards?
Like I'm sure many people know, we both have agents. And agents do this really interesting thing. They mail you scripts. I read the script. I was very familiar with the Darwin Awards because my friend is psychotically about it, you know, on their website and all that stuff. And I read the script and I really wanted to be involved with it, and I didn't know what role to play in it. And I said, you know what? There's no other choice but the cameraman. It was like the most challenging.
You turned down the role I had. And
yeah, you know what? I said, look, they said it was between you and me, and I said, you need it.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
It's a stretch. You needed to make that choice. You know, so I figured, let me be the cameraman. I do not need to be on screen. You know, so.
But what was that like being off screen? And then obviously there's a big payoff at the end. But what was that like in terms of challenge?
You know, I'll tell you what was challenging, you know, and what was challenging was, you know, not being able to be there for chemistry. You know what I mean? Because I think that a lot of our performances, you know, were like very, you know, time, and especially when you do comedy, it's really all about timing. And I think that was the biggest challenge, was how do you build chemistry when you're in a sound booth and you're seeing a big screen, and then I'm seeing you and Winona, you know, performing, and then looking at me and calling me numbnuts. You know, how do you build this chemistry? And that was the biggest challenge. It was, how do I feel like I'm there without being there? You know, but it was a lot of fun. It worked out great, and Finn was amazing because you guys were really great too. Because when I got there, you guys letting me know, okay, this is what we did. We played off to the camera. We did that, and that kind of helped out. Because then, you know, a couple months later when I came back, I remember all the notes and everything. It helped out. You know,
great stuff. I think this is Wilmer to Joe.
What do you think the Darwin Awards say about human nature?
I think the Darwin Awards touches on a part of our condition. And what I love in the film, actually, is that although it's hugely funny and entertaining, we're also looking at the lives of people who, and I think about the Rocket Car Man, I think about the relationship of those characters and how fundamentally sad they are, and how they wish for something bigger in their lives. And in wishing something bigger, off goes a character, he puts a JATO rocket on a car that falls apart at 400 miles an hour, and they both disintegrate. But he's doing it to impress a woman that he loves dearly. And so what I love what Finn has done is he's looked beyond the humour of the Darwin Awards and looked at the sort of human condition. I think that's what's beautiful about the film, and that's one of many of the Darwin Awards which I really like. What does it say about human nature? How unpredictable we are, how crazy, that there is sometimes lapses in intelligence that can be very costly. But I think ultimately it shows what a great condition we have. And I think, love them or hate them, think you could be judgmental on these characters, but personally rather like Burroughs, and probably because I played the character Burroughs.
Yeah, what do you think Burroughs' you know, view on the whole thing is? Do you think that he's probably in search of that same, you know, goal?
I think the journey that Burroughs takes is one where it's obviously for money that he goes to break down the profiles of these particular people who die in this extraordinary way. And then during the journey of this investigation, I think he begins to really respect and love and understand them at a deeper level. So I love the connection that he finds he has, probably because actually deep down he is potentially a Darwin person himself, and is probably liable to exit in the most ridiculous fashion. So, Wilmer, let me ask you a question.
Oof.
Wilmer, ready for it? Unscripted, of course. So, Wilmer, tell me, what do you think here we're in, I think for me it's one of the first time I've been here at Sundance. Tell me, what do you think of the state of our industry, the state of films, the independent movement, versus maybe the studio-driven pictures?
You know, I think I find it very mind-blowing how this festival has gone from one movie theater to a lot of them, and then to having corporate America really coming and taking a huge toll on it. And I think that says a lot about independent films. I think that this generation is probably ready for the next wave of entertainment. I think that the blueprint and the theory that has been selling, you know, when it comes to studio films and stuff like that, you know, is running dry. And I think that people are now searching, and we hope as actors to be challenged that way, to actually be able to tell those stories in the best way possible. And I think that independent films are finding a better home and a greater distribution.
Do you think there's a resurgence, rather like in the 70s, do you think there's a resurgence of really intelligent
I think that, you know,
coming through, being allowed through in the independent market?
You know, and you know, it's so interesting. Winona and I were talking about this yesterday, and she was saying before, you know, you used to go to see a Champagne, a Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino movie because they were going to be great movies, not because they were the leads, you know? And I think that nowadays, a lot of people are going to movies because so-and-so is headlining, you know? And I think that what's really interesting about it is that now we're needing more of a hook, you know, for films. And I think that's refreshing, you know, especially for us that
do you think the hook is good narrative? Do you think that's that we need to get away from a cliched, formulaic kind of narrative, and that's what's wonderful about here at Sundance. You see that there's great initiative on really original narrative. Yeah,
I believe that 100%. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why, you know, you come here for films, is because you really are searching for that storyline, that brand. You know, that's something that's gonna make you connect with the story. And I think that the actors are great deliverers of that. But at the end of the day, it really is about the story, and it's about, you know, what we're trying to tell, you know, and where we're trying to connect with our fans, really. Let's see, 3 things that I love about movies. Being able to take the audience through a journey. Being able to make people believe that such characters are real and they can walk around the street and actually see, oh, I saw that guy in a movie. And the fantasy of becoming someone else, you know.
3 things I love about movies. Well, I think fantasy is a great word there. I think that through fantasy, and let's face it, however films say they're based on real life or real events, through the adaptation of film, there's always going to be an element of something fantastical. But through fantasy, I think we get to something real, and we can understand reality through fantasy, and I love the fact that it doesn't have to be academic. Another point would be that escapism is a great thing. I think it's wonderful to step outside of our world and escape for those 2 hours or 3 hours. Why do movies have to be 2 hours? They could be 3 or 4. Let's face it, there should be no protocol. And the protocol, I think, I love the fact, and here we are at Sundance, I love the fact that filmmaking and protocol has changed so much through digitalization and things like that. So I think what's really exciting now for movies is that there is no protocol, that anyone can pick up a camera and they can go with what they have to do in their passion, and they can realize it. So that's a wrap.
Thank you for joining Joe and Wilmer into this wonderful journey in what it is movie making.
So bye from Sundance. All right.